Vivian, we are live, baby, for a Wednesday edition of The Slate. We are all masters for the next 26 minutes or until producer Eamon tells us to shut up, which is more often than you guys and gals probably know. Okay, I'm Emerson Latzia. Jeff Ulrich is here. Fryer, why do you still have that filter on your face? What is going on?
What are you talking about? I've been doing this the whole time. You haven't noticed?
Fryer, I am not in the mood for your BS today.
No.
All right.
Wow.
This
Okay.
is serious. This is serious stuff that we talk on the show.
As serious as like Byung-Hung An coming through for us last week, or Chris Kirk coming through for us last week as a top 20 and top 10 plays respectively, which I had. So you guys can forget about the Fade Fryer stuff. Huh?
How am I supposed to take you saying all that seriously with is it a squirrel? Is it a raccoon?
This is very clearly a raccoon.
I don't think that's clearly.
It's like something to do with Pokemon, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm not looking at that saying that's clearly a raccoon. It's also could be a meerkat.
This is what I'm dealing with, everybody. Emerson and Jeff can't identify what an animated raccoon is. This is what I deal with every week.
This is what we deal with every week.
Yeah,
Take that thing off your freaking face, pal. Take it off.
All right.
Deal with it, huh?
All right.
TP, Mr. Pikes on the ones and twos. It's great to have everybody here. We're just off to an absolutely riveting start. So you did have a couple of your bets hit last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you being serious about that?
I was being dead serious. Yeah, we had on to get to finish top 20 plus 300. Then Kirk was 280 to finish in the top 10. We talked about that last week. Jeff did back those, and then they came through. Kirk was tied 10th, and we didn't give him enough credit because he finished tied for 6th.
There was
a nice Sunday. Real nice end to his tournament. Couple birdies.
Yeah, there was a point on Sunday. I started sprinkling a little bit on Ryder. I was starting to sprinkle a little bit on Kirk. And then Kirk just couldn't break through. He would get that birdie or two pulling within 2 or 3. And it was your Canadian kumquat who won the tournament, right, John?
Yeah, Corey Connors. Again, Corey Connors really good player. I'm not shocked that he's a multiple-time winner. He's got the game to do it. His around the green game really comes and goes, but he is a spring ball striker. Took advantage of a weak field. Not overly shocking. Shocking to me because I bet Davis Riley instead of him, but that's neither here nor there. Corey Connors is a really good player. So, what he does this week is up for debate as well. Certainly you could have got him at a really good number earlier, before the Valero ended, but he's top 10 to this event twice in a row. Be interesting to see if he can follow it up. I just don't know if his around the green game is going to let him get any higher in the standings necessarily, but man, certainly quality player. Good to see him grab another win.
Saw him out there floating around with his family at the par 3 contest today at Augusta. How adorable was that, Jeff?
It's super adorable. I mean, whether you love kids or not, it's adorable. You got all these little caddies running around out there. Trying to put the ball, throwing their dad's clubs in the water. It's a good time.
That's that was $800, you freeloader. You don't even pay rent. Dude, imagine how I'm telling you, it would go viral. Ratings, records would be set for the par 3 contest. If one of these dudes who travel around in their RVs with their dog from tournament to tournament, put their dog in one of those little cute caddy outfits, attached, their sand wedge and their putter to the dog, and had the dog just following him around as his little 4-legged caddy. Jeff, would that not be adorable? I know you love your dog.
It's not a bad idea. I agree it would be adorable, but the chances of Augusta National letting dogs on the ground is
sorry, bud. They let live guys on the ground. They can let dogs on the ground, okay?
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's right. I said it, pal.
That's the show, everybody.
They let Patrick Reed on the ground. All right. And you know what, Patrick Reed? PGA, so. Patrick Reed, for the next 4 days, Patrick Reed, we're friends. All right. Okay. You embrace that villainous card, that villain card of yours. All right. Live long enough. Be the damn villain and win me some damn money.
Is that all your pick is based off of him being the villain?
Part of it is, yeah, because I know the guy likes to embrace it. But hey, real quick, I'll just tell you guys why. I saw this really, really interesting stat. So I know Jeff, And you mentioned this too. Some of these guys have been playing a little better on like the live tour. Some of these live dudes can be maybe some sneaky plays depending on what market you're looking at. I'm looking at this dude, and he went from 38th Mexico, 18th Tucson, 4th in Orlando. All right. I know some people are saying, I don't care. There's not much competition on live. Give me something else, which I'm doing right now. Look no further than his performance here, Jeff, at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic. And what I'm pointing at is he finished in second place. He finished just one shot behind Rory McIlroy. There has been a link to past success at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic and having success at Augusta. Allow me, 2016, Danny Willett, winning in Dubai, winning the Masters in April. The same can be said for Sergio Garcia in 2017. There is a small track record there, okay? And Sergio being one of the villain dudes on tour, at least he was at the time, because he took 2 minutes to hit a shot. So yeah, I'm kind of in on him a little bit, Jeff. All right.
It's fine. I mean, I think that Patrick Reed gets a boost from the. I mean, look, Patrick Reed probably is one of the players that gets a boost from the weather this week. That's undeniable. He's got a fantastic short game. He always has. He's a spike putter, what you'd call him, where his putter can just gain him 8 strokes any day of the week.
Yes,
and he's been playing better. The thing about, and this doesn't just apply to Reed, it's all the live guys. I don't know how they're going to react this week. It seems very, very tough to go from playing like 2 live events against like Anirban Lahiri and Sebastian Munoz to taking down the best players in the world.
I don't disagree with you.
It's tough. So Reed is absolutely, I think that in terms of style, look, I like Tommy Fleetwood for all the same reasons that you're mentioning Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
It's just that Reed hasn't had this kind of lead up that I'd like to see, that we always see from players who win the Masters. So it's a new era. I mean, this is going to be going on for the next 10 years, I guess, because these live guys are going to be on their own tour and they're probably never going to be playing on the PGA again. So we're going to see what kind of lead up this leads to, and if any of these live guys can perform. I'm of the opinion probably not going to happen, but if I was going to go with one guy, Patrick Reed's plus 8,000.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend I don't want to bet a live guy like I don't want to bet Cameron Smith this week. I love Cameron Smith. He made me some money last year at the Open.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bet him at short odds against Scotty Scheffler. Patrick Reed's plus 8,000. That's different. I don't have to invest.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
Throw $10 on him or something like that. Like something like super, super easy. And I like how you mentioned the weather. And Fryer, I know you've been doing your research as well. Like the weather's gonna be a thing, dude. Like it's gonna get nasty. Jeff, I don't think I'm wrong when I say it's looking at the forecast, it's giving me those 2022 players vibes, and that's the tournament that Cam Smith won. And I hate how I kind of can't get off of Justin Thomas here because he doesn't have the best track record here. He's been kind of stuck in this like neutral form for the past few months. But Fryer, wet conditions soften Augusta up and kind of lower the course's like defenses here. Someone like a JT and his aggressive play should be like the main beneficiaries of this weather coming through.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, and we're talking about the early, the weather and stuff like that too. When I was watching the Sweat this morning, that I wasn't invited on for the full length Masters coverage, I wasn't insulted by that.
You'll be there next year, bud. You'll be there next year. You just became a golf guru. You just became one.
Okay. Anyways, but when you guys were talking about that, obviously, a lot, like the weather and everything, Tiger was a big part of that conversation too. And that's kind of where I wanted to start when we're talking about the weather stuff. Jeff's prop that he brought up about Tiger and the amount of birdies that he's going to have on the first day, I thought was really interesting. 3.5, because okay, where's this number come from? And looking at the past few years, hovering right around that. Last year was the first time since 2018 that he didn't go over that number. And I know there was 1 year in between where he in the mix where he didn't play for obvious reasons. But I do think that the mentality that he has going into this, while I don't think that'll translate to wins, and I don't think that's going to translate to a bogey-free round, because I know that is an option on DK Sportsbook as well. I do think that could translate to him getting a few birdies in here, getting over this number, because I would think he's, every year he's like, all right, I'm going to win. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think I can win. Like, that's the mindset I have coming in. The pressure, he's kind of taking it off himself to some extent. So I would think whatever issues that he runs into throughout the course of the first day while the weather's good, he could go and get 4 birdies.
Jeff, yeah. What was that again? Was that the only one you brought up with Tiger Woods was the birdie one? That's what you're riding?
Yeah, the first round, and the idea is it's going to be the best conditions. He's going to be fresh. Tiger's just such a veteran, so good at preparing. If he's going to come out and have like a good, if he's going to come out and have a good round, it's probably this year going to be in round 1. So over 3.5 birdies for round 1. But like, truth be told, there's just not a lot of Tiger props I like. What we've seen in past years is the sports books and the public have been underestimating Tiger. You know, you could get him at like plus 135, even like bigger odds than that, just to make the cut. It's flipped this year. No one's underestimating him. His to make the cut odds at one point were like minus 200. I think they've come down a bit now, but even at minus 150, I just don't want to take that kind of line on Tiger with the weather and with him still not having played that much. Honestly, I don't even want to say it, and this is why I'm saying that your best move is probably just not to bet any Tiger props. But the best value is probably to play him to miss the cut. At this point, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not really even recommending it. I'm just saying the best overall line out there on Tiger is probably for him to miss the cut this year.
It's true because and that you think that's mainly based on the weather too, because we know that nobody knows Augusta better than Tiger Woods. What did we say he's made? 22 consecutive cuts here. It's insane. The only time he ever missed it was 96. He was an amateur.
It's a combination of circumstances, him not having any prep, the weather, and just the main thing is just the line. This isn't like, this is, like I said, the line's completely flipped from past years. So it makes more sense to bet him here than when people were betting him at like minus 200 to miss the cut, which was really stupid, quite frankly, because as you just mentioned, he never misses the cut here. So I'm honestly like, there's really no Tiger props I like. There's a lot of props I like. It's just none of them are Tiger involved.
I'll tell you what, Jeff. I like that miss the cut. After everything, as much as I think that the analysis that you had on the first day, like, and I still like him to get 4 birdies. I do think he's going to have some rough patches. I thought this was a great call. Plus 122. I mean, with the weather and what's coming in, I like this play even more.
What's the rule if he WDs? What do we know what the rule is like with that? Like, do people like get
I'm pretty sure
that count as a miscut?
Yeah, I mean, look, don't quote me. And
no. I'm not.
You need to look up on your own, but I'm pretty sure if he starts the event, withdraws it would just count as a miscut. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I heard earlier, I believe it was on Golf Channel or ESPN, like the idea of, if he appears to be like kind of out of it and this thing gets like delayed and messed up because of the weather, and you roll in Saturday morning temperatures like 40, 41, 42, he may just be like, yeah, this one is not for me, and I'm just going to get out of here right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't anticipate it unless Tiger is really dealing with some kind of physical problem, which is possible. I don't think he'll withdraw, but it's certainly at least in the realm of possibilities. So he's risky for DFS in that regard as well. Again, not a player you need to go crazy with. I don't mind sprinkling him into lineups. I really don't. I mean, again, this is just someone who, like, if you've ever just going against Tiger Woods in the overall scheme of things just has not worked out well for you at any really point in time. It may be like that one stretch where you like forgot how to play golf for like 6 months, but like other than that, it's not going to work out well. So Tiger's just Tiger. I don't really think we're getting like the kind of odds we want on things like to make the cut or top 40, at least the odds I'd want. So to me, I just look elsewhere this week, really.
All right, Jeff, towards the top of the board here, give me one of these dudes with shorter odds who you would consider betting to win this thing this week.
So, I mean, again, like the lines on this, especially on DraftKings, have moved a ton this week. My guy Finau, who I was like touting, like a month ago, plus 3,000,
like
plus
hours
4,000.
ago.
He is now 5th in betting odds at plus 1,800. So there's clearly been some action on him. Jordan Spieth is. Oh wait, actually, I'm looking at the wrong. Sorry.
What the hell's going on?
Jordan Spieth is now Finau is plus 1,800. Jordan Spieth is also plus 1,800. If I was betting like right now today, I don't hate the Justin Thomas call at all. Plus 2,200. He's got really good around the green game. I think that's going to be something that's vastly important this week. This is just an odds call. I still don't mind Jason Day, but again, like Finau, his odds have just shot down already. So I would probably look back. I still think Max Homa is very bettable at plus 2,800. I really feel like people are just sort of, I don't know if they're overlooking Max Homa, but it kind of feels like we've gotten like people have just sort of been like, oh yeah, like he was good, but like it's, let's just like move on here. Max Homa loves long, tough golf courses. And I feel like if he had like one result of like T20 last year at this event, he would be getting the same kind of love that Finau is. So I think he's way more bettable at plus 2,800. And I don't really care about the course history. Made the cut here last season. He's going to figure this course out eventually. He's got a lot of self-belief. I think that's a really good number. And that's the player in that range I would get on. He's between Schauffele and Morikawa. Get the argument for Morikawa. I think Homa, just with what he's shown this season, is ready to do something this week.
Do not bet Tom Hoagie, who won the par 3 contest today, to win the Masters at plus 11,000, because no one who has ever won the par 3 contest has gone on to win the Masters. I just need everyone to know that right now. But hey, if he does,
he's also just not going to win. There's that.
That's how I felt about your boy Seamus Power today, dude. Back-to-back hole-in-ones. And I was like, congrats, dude. You're not winning the Masters. Like you use all your luck and all that positive mojo.
We should do a triple missed cut bet with Sepp Straka, Power.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to Sepp. Sepp and I are like
don't act like
tight.
you're friends with Sepp Straka now.
Are you kidding me? Did you see my interview? Did you see my interview today with him?
Yeah.
He and I connected over like Diet Coke and food and golf. Like we bonded. I have never seen him smile the way he smiled when I made him smile.
That's fair. I haven't either.
Thank you.
Straka's fine. He is volatile. I'm just joking about the miscut thing. But I mean, look.
Okay, because it certainly didn't seem like it. I've known you for a long time. We grew up together, and let me tell you what, you certainly seemed serious when you said that.
Okay, well, sorry.
All right, it's okay. I accept your apology. Friars, is someone near the top of the board you really like before we work our way down?
I want to go further down. I mean, like, yes. Yeah, I mean, like, Rahm's interesting, but I have two guys I have two guys in a similar range that I'd rather that I like a little bit more. Can I get going on one of them?
Yeah, babe. Go ahead. Right. Do your thing.
So Sung J M plus 4,500. Obviously not way down the board. I don't have a guy way down the board for this week, but I definitely a little bit more in the middle. He's also plus 300 to finish in the top 10, which is where he's kind of been, over the past. What was it? Last year he got T8 and then tied for second in 2021. And again, I always use Jeff's cheat sheet over on DK Nation as rubric for looking at key stats when trying to figure out what's going on week to week. 10 of the last 13 winners at the Masters ranked 19th or better in strokes gained tee to green in the year of their victory. 13th tee to green so far this season. And I know when it comes to strokes gained around the green right now, he's like around 30th. So not great, not ideal, but okay enough that maybe he could go and get hot this weekend. And then 6 of the past 7 winners recorded at least a tied for 5th at some point in the 4 months prior to Augusta. He got 4th at Farmers back in January. So Sung J.M., I like him. I really like him as a top 10 play. Obviously, he's been consistent there the last 2 Masters, but in general, I mean, as a winner too.
Jeff Ulrich, does that get your seal of approval?
So, I mean, look, again, this is just more of an odds thing. I mean, Sung Jae is a player who we've seen hovering around 3,000 plus 3,500 for this event. It's Wednesday. It's the day before the event. His odds have clearly drifted. He's down plus 45. He's a way better bet today than he was even like 2 days ago, I think, when he was plus 3,500. I wouldn't have bet him at plus 3,500 when you have him in the area of Morikawa and Young, but this is a good area for him, in my opinion. He's got a better around the green game than Hovland. Will Zalatoris still trying to, I think, just figure out a level of consistency that he had last season.
Not touching that dude.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch him here either. Very talented. It could come together.
This is where he kind of made a name for himself. It was like the Masters for a couple of years, like a few years back, a couple of years in a row. We're like, who's this skinny kid who looks like Happy Gilmore's caddy? Seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, look, like Zalatoris is fine. You could just say I'm just betting Zalatoris because this number's too big. He's probably better long-term than Sanjay, but Sanjay's finished runner-up at this course. It was an easier setup back in November, but I I got no problem with it. I mean, like if you can find this number, and obviously it's available on DraftKings, I think he's a really good bet there. I look at the other players in this range, and I would prefer him over all of them for sure.
Okay.
Nice.
You got anyone else further down the board here, Fryer?
Yeah, we go just a little bit further down. Tommy Fleetwood. And-
Yes, yeah. You're preaching to the choir here with Ulrich.
Oh, so Jeff, you have talked about him. Was it earlier in the week that you talked about him? I must have missed this.
He's in my cheat sheet too. But go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Where did you?
Let's hear it. It's going to sound like you copied your homework, Jeff.
Well, I mean, I look at for
Everyone
for
does.
Jeff, I look at the key stats. This is the thing. Like Jeff doesn't. This is why the cheat sheet's so good too. Not to go and be too nice to you, Jeff, but he gives you picks, but he also helps you figure it out for yourself too. Because I deliberately don't look at Jeff's picks unless I have to edit the article myself.
I understand.
I don't want to know. But for Fleetwood, what tied for 14th last year, tied for 19th the year before that. And then again, looking at those stats, 12th tee to green right now. And around the green game, Jeff, right? Second in strokes gained around the green. And then talking about, recent play and everything like that, he was tied for third at the Valspar. So plus 400 to finish top 10. I like him to break through there. He hasn't done that yet at the Masters if I remember correctly. But either way, he's been right near it quite a bit. So I like him there. But again, to win straight up, talking about around the green game, he's been one of the best so far.
Incredibly, like he's never won a PGA Tour event, which we always mention when we bring this dude up. But for some reason, people believe, Jeff, you're one of them, and so are you, Nick. There are a few reasons like that shouldn't worry you, and you brought up some of the facts there yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of love for Tommy Fleetwood this week, and I can talk about this situation a lot, but you bring up the fact he's never won in the States or on the PGA Tour. That's fine, but we have seen in the Masters, we've seen people get their first American wins here. Danny Willett did it in 2016.
Yep.
It's a top
off
English
that Dubai
player.
victory. Don't forget.
True, it's the Dubai link. It's true. But Danny Willett came here, grabbed his first win. He rode some good plays, a really good around the green player. Charles Schwartzel did it back in, I think it was 2000. I can't even remember what year Schwartzel won, 11 maybe. But regardless, like we have seen this scenario before. It's not outlandish. These European players, they get used to the course a bit. You get them in the right conditions and they can pop off. Tommy Fleetwood has played really good tee to green golf. He was better at the Valspar than Jordan Spieth tee to green. He had one unlucky break at the Valspar, just a bad lie on a par 5. Wasn't even a bad shot, just in a bunker. And he made a bogey and it dropped him out of contention. Then Taylor Moore sunk like 40 feet of putts and he finished T4 instead of 1. Fleetwood played really good that week and his game has trended up and he's got the around the green chops to absolutely handle this kind of weather. You think back to 2019, that dirty open weather-wise that Shane Lowry won, guy who finished second was Tommy Fleetwood. So he can handle the bad weather. He's got 5 top 5 finishes in majors. Fryer brought up his Masters history. This is where, we're talking ranges here and betting. Don't try and outsmart yourself. Structure it around ranges where you guys, where you want to allocate some of your units. I would allocate some units in this range to Fleetwood. I don't think Lowry's a bad bet either. Minwoo Lee is another guy you can think about at plus 6,000. I've also bet him. Really talented, but Tommy Fleetwood's my favorite in this range for sure.
I love how the dude, I will say this, just continues to show an ability to contend like in the biggest tournaments on the PGA Tour.
And look,
like
just again, I got so many good vibes with Fleetwood. Hit the last major, T4 at the Open. We often see players like the year Patrick Reed won in 2018. His last major finish was like a T2 at the PGA. We often see, where did Emerson go?
I don't know what that was.
These Masters winners go from one big finish at a major. They use that momentum. It brings them into the Masters in the next season. They ride it to a win. So it's happened before. Again, everything with Fleetwood looks really good to me. And it, you can say, oh, well, this idiot doesn't know what he's talking about, but it's also just like a betting thing. I mean, I think at plus 5,500, you can structure him, you can fit him in easy, and he's not going to like make or break. But again, Matsuyama won around 45 to 1, 40 to 1 a couple years ago. So this has kind of been a range where we've seen winners come from too. Yeah, look, she agrees.
Winifred's all about it because she's like, Woof, woof, and 6 career master starts. Woof, woof. He's only missed the cut once. Woof, woof.
If
And
Fleetwood
has recorded 3 top 25s.
I mean,
Woof, woof.
You should get her to make picks, Emerson. I don't know how it's taking this long
she
for
just
that to happen.
did. Her
Hey,
pick is Tommy.
well,
Like, make it more of a thing.
Remember a couple years ago, Jeff?
I've never heard her bark. That's the first time I've heard her bark on the show.
That is absolute baloney. My dogs bark every effing show we have.
Don't ruin a good bit. This is the first time. It's Fleetwood. This is it. It's a sign.
Oh,
No, dude, it
go.
really is a sign. And you know what? You know what we'll do? We'll bring back the underdog of the week. We had it for football season, Jeff. Remember that like 3 years ago or whatever?
Yes.
We're using Rufus, Samir's parents' dog, Diego, and other random dogs in the company. They were picking. I don't think their success rate was high, but I do believe there were some hits.
You know what the problem is? You guys need a cat making these picks.
Oh.
That's why. Just saying.
Listen, dude, we want to get Billy involved, Billy the cat involved. I'm perfectly fine with
Billy
it.
the cat.
Billy,
Billy, him or me? Or
Samir's cat has kind of won me over a little bit, Scarlett, because she's like such a cool ass little cat, and she just chills and
what
has
about
fun.
what about our Madden mascot, Desmond?
I was there for the Madden stuff.
I do remember, and then there was Meowster. Remember that?
I do remember the Meowster.
We've lost like the 2 people who are still watching.
The one question though, so you guys talked about Gordon Sargent on the show today too, and I know there were like a few different like options with him. Yeah, I think top 40 to me. I know it's not a huge payout, but plus 165. I think that's the best way to go with this kid without knowing much about his game. I know everybody's raving, but because Jeff, I couldn't remember exactly where you landed, but I just feel like top 20. We're asking a little bit too much out of kid, but I could see him like his skills playing out, doing well. Maybe, I know the weather's tough and everything, but I could see him getting into the weekend, but I could also see him kind of losing steam at some point if it goes too far and the pressure kind of gets to him a little bit. And that's why 40 is where I'd land.
Jeff, after like you guys talked about this morning, I was like, I got to learn more about this kid. And I was reading some of the quotes from like Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, who's hitting the ball on this course, on average, in the air, 300 to 305 yards, was talking about how this Sargent kid is blowing the ball past him and JT. And I'm like, who is this little dude?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you need to understand, like, he didn't even qualify for this event. Like, you qualify as an amateur for the Masters by winning specific amateur events. But he's been so dominant at the NCAA level, and he is the number 1 amateur in the world, I believe, in the rankings. But he got a special invite. That's happened like once, one other time, I think. I think the last time it happened was like 2000. So it's a special player. It's a special circumstance. And as you say, he's just really freaking good.
Yeah.
I think 165, it literally, to me, like, all these outright bets were thrown out. It might be like the best just overall bet for me on the board, if we're being dead honest. So for a top 40, I'm also just trying to look up. There's so many.
He was the number 1.
I'm trying to look up the top amateur.
Okay.
Here we go. I almost got it.
All right, yeah, hurry, because we do have to get off soon because there's another Madden game at 6.
If there is a top amateur market, you could bet in there too. But I like the top 40, as Fryer said. I think it's a very strong bet. Yeah.
I was looking for the amateur market. I didn't see anything there. I saw seniors.
Okay.
Emerson.
Yeah, that's Bernhard Longer. Bernhard Longer is going to be in contention through like Saturday. I just want everyone to know that it's like death taxes and at least Longer on the first page of the leaderboard after day 1. That's what it'll be. Okay, Jeff, your pick to win. It was Finau.
It was Finau. Like I said, I'm kind of picking him from my group of players that I really like: Day, Spieth, Homa, Fleetwood. Right. Yeah, I got kind of a core play with outright bets, with futures bets. Ever since from what we've seen from Finau over the last 10 months, to me, he's just a player lying in the weeds, waiting to strike. He has been so consistent this year with the ball striking, with everything, and he just looks completely relaxed. I think he's ready to strike here, and he has really played well in this course. Okay. I'll always come back to that fact he had a front row for 2019 playing in the same group as Tiger. I think that helps him. So I'll grab Finau. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of ready to strike, our producer's ready to strike us down because we're up against it. Fryer, Good having you on today, as always, because you're a member and you're a family here on our Wednesday edition of the Slate. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, producer Eamon. Thanks, TP. Appreciate it, guys. Madden's coming up next. I don't know what game it is. He dropped it in earlier. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, AFC North showdown. Okay, enjoy that. We'll see you tomorrow morning on The Swap.
Go Joe Burrow.
Ooh.